to Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We want to welcome everybody to our program tonight. We have a lot of things I want to talk about, including emergency preparedness, and tonight we're going to talk about fires tonight. Before we get talking about fires, I want to talk about what has gone on around the world today in terms of earthquakes. Earthquakes are very prevalent everywhere. I'm going to start off today in the United States of America. Again, off the west coast of the United States, another earthquake hit off the coast of Oregon, just about 19 kilometers west-southwest of Barview, Oregon. This time it was a 2.1 minor earthquake. This was directly between the Cascadia subduction zone earthquake fault and the Oregon coast, right smack dab between those two locations. Again, this was off the coast. It was a minor earthquake, even if it was a minor earthquake like it was. If it had been on land, nobody probably would have known about it. A 2.1 earthquake is a minor earthquake, nothing more and nothing less. Now, we've had a couple other earthquakes I want to talk about over here on the West Coast. Over near Bernie, California, which is over in the Sierra Nevada mountains. This was a 2.4 earthquake there. Going further east, okay, over into Smiths Ferry, Idaho. Earlier this week, we had a good-sized earthquake in Smiths Ferry, Idaho. We spoke about this. Seismic energy is still hitting this area. We've had multiple aftershocks from that earthquake earlier this week. The largest earthquake aftershock today was a 3.5 small earthquake, and it was felt in that area. Going northeast from there, Wisdom, Montana had a 1.4 tremor. Going further east, this time I'm talking over in the West Yellowstone area, the Madison Fault area, okay? We're talking the Madison Fault area. This Madison Fault area is Yellowstone. It is completely within the Yellowstone magma chamber boundaries, and it's very close to West Yellowstone. The Madison Fault area is an area where there are geysers, besides the Norris Geyser Basin where Old Faithful is. The Madison Geyser area had a 1.2 tremor, but it was not the only tremor that occurred there. Also there near Madison, the Madison Valley area, the Madison Geyser Basin, just southwest of there, Hebgen Lakes also had another small minor microquake. Hebgen Lake was the location where a 7.1 earthquake hit in 1959. The Hebgen Lake quake at that point in time had a cabin that literally fell off the mountain into the lake. A huge cabin rolled into the mountain, or rolled off the mountain into Hebgen Lake. Also, the roadway, the highway there in the local area, fell into the lake. This was a major earthquake in Yellowstone. It did not set off the volcano. I want to implore you, do not think that this Yellowstone volcano is anywhere near ready to erupt. It is not. Even with this minor earthquake over in the Hebgen Lake area and the earthquake over in the Madison Geyser Basin, this does not prove anything about the Yellowstone volcano getting anywhere near ready to erupt. I'm going to repeat my warning to everybody. In order for the Yellowstone volcano to erupt, we need to see multiple moderate earthquakes of at least a 4.5 earthquake occurring over a long period of time. not just one or two moderate earthquakes or large earthquakes, numbers of earthquakes. We're talking about numbers of earthquakes. Yes, under Yellowstone Lake, we've had minor tremors here. We've also had minor earthquakes up until about a year ago. Those minor earthquakes basically have stopped. Not quite, but mostly stopped. What is happening over in Yellowstone Lake? There is a magma dike pushing itself up from underneath Yellowstone Lake. The magma dike has not reached the surface of the lake. However, it has gotten close enough to heat up the water in Yellowstone Lake. The heating up of the water has killed cutthroat trout that thrived in the lake prior to that. With that magma dike that's underneath Yellowstone Lake, it's also putting out sulfur dioxide and hydrosulfide fumes into the lake. Those fumes are also supposedly what caused the fish to die. The hydrogen sulfide and the sulfur dioxide are poisonous vapors caused by magma from underneath the surface. This is common occurrence when magma is close to the surface. We've proven that where we've had massive tree kills, trees falling over, trees that have been blackened as a result of magma beneath them, we've proven this has caused that. The fumes, the vapors from the toxic fumes from the magma, the toxic vapors from the magma are what caused the tree kills. This is happening literally all over the world. Okay? I want to make sure everybody realizes that. This is happening everywhere, not just in Yellowstone. It's happening in Hawaii. It's happening everywhere where we have a volcano, or even a volcano that has been dormant for a very long time. Dormant does not mean extinct. Extinct means pretty much extinct, but I'm not even trusting that title either. Dormant means it may come back to life. That's all that means. Active volcanoes is a volcano that has erupted within the last 600 to 1,000 years, go figure. And there are volcanoes that have. For example, Shasta volcano over in Northern California. Shasta volcano hasn't erupted for 600 years. Shasta volcano is putting out toxic vapors. Toxic vapors, and they also have geyser basins that have been filling full of water and toxic chemicals, toxic fumes from the vapors of the magma beneath. This is a common occurrence at volcanoes. Okay? Mount Shasta is probably the most dangerous volcano in the United States. Now, Brokefish, and I appreciate Brokefish being here in the chat. Brokefish and I are very good friends. Brokefish is here in the chat saying Crater Lake had one of these this week. Yes, it has. Okay? Now, Crater Lake, Mount Shasta going south, and also Mount Lassen. Mount Lassen and Mount Shasta both have been showing vital signs of a volcano reawakening. We have had tremors. We have had minor earthquakes. We have had small and moderate earthquakes hit both of those volcanoes. We have seen small and minor earthquakes hit Crater Lake to the north in south central Oregon. Another volcano that we also need to keep an eye on is Mount Hood over in northern Oregon. Mount Hood is famous for erupting on a moment's notice. About a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, Mount Shasta, at the base on the south side of Mount Shasta, at what they call Government Camp. Government Camp is a visitor center at Mount Hood. I believe it's where, and I have not been to Mount Hood at all, but Government Camp, I believe, is where the ski lift starts going up to the Palmer Lift, starts going up the side of Mount Hood to the south. Government Camp is also where there are government buildings. Okay? On the south side of Mount Hood, a year and a half to 2 years ago, that area was boiling with earthquakes. I believe it was 125 earthquakes within a 24-25 hour period on a Sunday. At that point, the United States Geological Survey issued a cautionary yellow advisory for a possible volcano eruption at Mount Hood. About 2 days later, USGS took down that advisory because the earthquake subsided at Mount Hood, and there's been no further evidence of Mount Hood possibly erupting anytime soon. Now, I'm going to make this statement about Mount Hood. Do not count out Mount Hood for not erupting anytime soon, though. Mount Hood has also had its share of earthquakes, minor earthquakes, and tremors. We've even seen small 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes happening at Mount Hood within the last 6 months, possibly even longer than that. There have been earthquakes. Richard Smith is talking about a 2.3 earthquake in Utah, just kilometers below the hard surface of the crust of the earth where we walk on. That is not surprising me one little bit. That happens a lot. Now we have surgery. I believe we still have surgery here in the chat. Now he may be working. Broke Fish is talking about the Menudo Triple Junction is being hit daily. That is right. Surgery's here again in the chat. He's live here. He's cooking dinner. He's listening to our program. Yes, we've had earthquakes in Utah. They continue to occur, even in his area. Now, Surgery has told me, and he's also put this information up in the chat, there have been lots of pops where he lives in Smithfield, Utah. The ground is popping. It's moving. USGS is not reporting any of this activity, but Utah State Department of Seismology is. You can go to that website and pick up all of the seismographs all over Utah, and you can take a look at it. That information is readily available to anybody that looks at it. Okay? This earthquake that just hit in Utah, this 2.3, is in Milford, Utah. Now, this earthquake is in central Utah. It's near the Black Rock Desert volcano. I've told you that I've been there. There's now a large swarm of earthquakes there. This is not the first earthquake that has hit there. There's about 25 minor earthquakes and tremors. Okay? This 2.3 is not the only one, but the latest earthquake in that area. A 1.4 in Milford, Utah, 15 kilometers northeast of Milford, Utah. Another one, a 1.8, closer to this one, but still in the area where the majority of the earthquakes have been occurring, a 1.0 tremor, 14 kilometers northeast of Milford. We go even closer there, a 1.3, a minus 0.6. All the minus numbers mean is that it's above sea level. Above sea level. Now, I don't care what anybody says. Milford, Utah is nowhere near sea level. So these numbers that USGS has put out are false. Okay? Milford, Utah is in a very hilly, not necessarily mountainous terrain. I've been there. There is a volcano there. I have gone rock hounding there, and I've taken a rock hammer and I've split shale and picked up fossils there. When I was there 3 or 4 years ago, I showed you some of the fossils that I picked up when I was there. It's a huge rock hound haven. A lot of people come from miles and miles, states and states around Utah to come rock hounding in Milford, Utah, around the Black Rock Desert volcano. Many people go hiking in the volcanic area, and there's no problem with that. The Black Rock Desert volcano is nowhere near ready to erupt either. Even with all these tremors and earthquakes all around Milford, I do not believe that that area is ready for an eruption. I know it's not. There are plenty of volcanic rock, and I'm talking pumice, I'm talking black volcanic rock. Okay? There is obsidian there. If you go towards the summit, you'll find obsidian there, which is caused by the cooling of the magma, the cooling of the lava when the volcano erupted. It erupted as black volcanic glass. It's beautiful. Sometimes you also find this black volcanic glass to have what looks like snowflakes in it. It's called snowflake obsidian. Most of us have seen it. If you haven't, maybe I'll dig out my rock collection and show you. I still have some specimens that one of my dearest friends in Arizona sent me. I used to have a big slab about, I want to say 8 to 10 inches long and about 4 inches wide. My ex-wife ended up with it. She kept it from me. I collected that out in one of the volcanic areas in the desert, in fact, the Mojave Desert in California. Anyway, all this and more is available in the Black Rock Desert area of the volcano. It's all over. But we're having swarms of earthquakes. Now, this could be caused by molten magma down beneath the surface. And I'm sure that is the cause. I don't know, well, in fact, I do know that there are earthquake faults out here to the east of there. And we're talking probably close to a mile away. Now, yes, there can be seismic events caused by the faults at a distance away from it. That's been known to happen. But folks, this may be caused by magma in this area. There is magma down beneath this volcano. I want to make that very clear. The volcano is out to the west, probably close to 1 mile away from where these earthquakes are occurring. You can go to Google Earth, you can go to the USGS map and look at it. It's a Black Rock Desert volcano, and it's very visible to the human eye on the maps. If you zoom in close enough, you're going to see the black rock, and it's very apparent what it is. Okay, Catherine Sigerson said she's going to put some rain barrels out. That's probably a good idea. Jan USMC says the New Madrid fault. Folks, I talked about the New Madrid fault earlier this week. The New Madrid fault is getting ready to move. Okay, it's already moving. Before my computer went on the fritz, I showed you seismograms, came from the seismographs in that area, all over, and I'm talking north to south along the New Madrid fault. Most of these earthquakes were around the center of the Madrid fault. And I'm going to tell you from Missouri south over into Arkansas. Okay? Central Arkansas and even further south. That area is primed to move. It's been already moving. We've shown you 2.5. We've shown you 3.5 and even a 4.0 on the Madrid fault. Mark Tree, Arkansas is very prevalent for this. That whole area. We've shown you 3.0, 3.5, 3.8 earthquakes occurring in Missouri. Missouri is the center of the fault. Okay? This whole area is moving. I want to make that very clear. Now, DH is also in the chat saying not in the Ring of Fire. Yes, we have volcanoes moving in the Ring of Fire. Please don't mistake me by saying that. We have volcanoes erupting all over Indonesia. We have volcanoes erupting over in Sicily. Just north of Sicily, just off the coast, we have Mount Etna. We also have Mount Stromboli that have been erupting. They're not erupting big time, but they are erupting. Okay? There's 47 volcanoes. 47 volcanoes are either in the pre-stages of eruption or are presently erupting. Okay? Now, some people have asked me, where is the Ring of Fire? The Ring of Fire stretches from the southern Pacific all around the Pacific on the west and the east side of the Pacific. South America, Central America, the United States and Canada, all the way up through and including Alaska. 65 volcanoes alone in Alaska. Okay? That's how many volcanoes there are that are erupting in those areas. 47 of them, either in a pre-eruptive stage or are erupting presently. Okay? Most of the volcanoes erupting are in Indonesia. Sakurajima on the western side of the Ring of Fire over in Honshu, Japan. Sakurajima has been erupting off and on. It's very prevalent. Okay? And every time it erupts, it shakes the area. And it's shaking the area even over into Tokyo to the east. Okay? Brokefish is talking about it's shaking there daily in the Cascade Mountains. Oh, yes, it is. USGS is not reporting any of this. USGS ought to be ashamed of themselves. I've talked about this before. I hate talking about that agency because they're broken. And I don't believe the USGS will ever be fixed. I just don't believe it. Now, there's one other earthquake in northwestern Utah. It's near Orangeville, Utah. It's a 1.3 tremor in Orangeville, Utah. That is over, it's not even in northern Utah, folks. It's over in west central Utah, over near the border with Colorado. Okay, Orangeville, Utah, 1.3 tremor. Now, before I get talking about anything else, I want to first talk about the fire in Texas. The fire in Texas is now well over 1 million acres and still burning. Part of the fire that has already burned got rained down on by snow. There was a light cover of snow this morning in parts of Texas where the wildfire had already burned. Okay? It's going. It's still going. It's been going now for 5 days. Colorado and Utah both sent smoke jumpers and have sent teams of firefighters, 100 firefighters over to help Texas, and it's a welcome relief to the Texas firefighters. I'm hoping other firefighters come there from various other states to help put out that fire. It's raging. It's raging. It needs to be put out almost immediately. Now, Surgery is also saying that Mexico had a volcanic eruption as well. Yes, it is considered to be in the Ring of Fire, brother. Okay? That is Popocatépetl, southeast of Mexico City. Popocatépetl has been erupting a lot. It's been erupting quite a bit during the last year, off and on for the last year. Popocatépetl in Mexico is known for extreme, unexpected bursts of lava and lava fountaining and lava flowing down the sides of the volcano. Popocatépetl is also known for lava rock bursts out of the summit of the volcano. Rolling lava rock falling out, or not just falling, but being thrown into the air and rolling down the sides of Popocatépetl. That's happening. Okay? White Beanie says, do you have lung cancer? No, I do not. I explained that the other night. My right diaphragm beneath my right lung is not working. It's paralyzed. That's why I'm on oxygen. It has nothing to do with my cancer, I don't think anymore. My cancer is in remission right now, but even that said, I'm still having problems from the treatment. Okay? Surgery's pointed out here in the chat, no, it was an injury years ago for my duty as an officer of the law. It hurt my diaphragm. Okay? That's why. Fellow Jet Main says, love you. I appreciate that. I love all of you too. But anyway, that said, someone asked me yesterday, was the Texas fire still going? Yes, it is. It has not stopped at all. Some of the rain and snow that has fallen in Texas has helped the firefighters, but not completely. They had temperatures in the fire area of 70, 75 degrees before the rain and the snow hit. Those temperatures did not help the firefighters at all. They actually helped the fire continue. And the high winds also helped it continue and are prevalent even now. Something else has happened over in southern Wyoming, around Cheyenne, Wyoming, near Interstate 80 and Highway 20 over there, and I-25. There has been a large fire that has erupted there. Okay? The Wyoming State Patrol and other police departments from both sides of Colorado and Wyoming are presently in the throes of alerting residents and trying to evacuate residents from that area. It's blazing. Okay? It's moving because of high winds. The Wyoming Highway Patrol and the Colorado State Patrol have put out travel warnings and are trying to alert travelers to use alternate means of travel because that fire is going up upwards of 100 feet into the air. That's how high that is. Brokefish says that Texas fire is bad. He says he's heard there's loss of life and firefighters. Okay? There is loss of life there. 2 women died. One of them was succumbed by the smoke. The other one actually burned to death in her home. She could not get out of the area fast enough, and she burned to death in her home. Okay? That's what happened. I have confirmation of that. It's a sad day to report that information, but we have to report what we get. It's unreal, guys. It's unreal. 2 women have passed away in Stinnett, Texas. Okay? Texas lady says one lady was a teacher, a substitute teacher. Yeah, absolutely. I've heard that information too. I haven't gotten her name because the family members have not yet all been notified. That's the information there. But I'm putting out the information. If anybody is traveling I-25 northbound out of Colorado, be advised, you probably will not be allowed to go anywhere near Cheyenne because of the fire. Okay? That fire is probably going to rage out of control for many more days because of the high winds. Winds in that area have been clocked at 45 mile per hour plus. Diane Thomas is here in the chat saying, Ron, do you think the fires are from magma close to the surface or bad actors? I don't believe those fires have anything to do with magma close to the surface. They don't know what caused the fires. My first feeling when I first heard about the fires, I think, honestly, they're from bad actors. Okay? That's my personal feeling. I am not presently in law enforcement, but I've seen this happen. I've seen it happen more times than not. Now, if I get any information contrary to that, I'll pass it on. But I believe that these fires were caused by people. I believe they probably were purposely set. Okay? Now, with that said, Surgery's talking here in the chat, be interesting to know how many cattle that got roasted. I saw video from news organizations showing, and not just news organizations, but from cattle ranchers showing cattle headed eastbound away from the fire. I mean, they were running. They weren't just walking, they were running. In some cases, I would equate it to sprinting out of that area. And rightfully so. Those souls there need to have help. And they can't get out fast enough. Those animals that were either hurt, killed, or surviving by getting out of that area can succumb to smoke as well. Smoke from the fires can kill any animals, including humans. Okay? I want to make that thing perfectly clear as well. That happens. It happens more times than I want to even think about. I've seen it happen. Years ago, when Yellowstone was on fire, we saw that happen in Yellowstone. Deer and elk and moose running, bears running for their lives, bunnies, rabbits trying to sprint out of the area. Now, I know that rabbits can run, and they can run pretty fast. But some of those wildfires in Yellowstone, I don't think those rabbits could have escaped. Okay? The fires were raging so fast. And the same thing, I believe, is happening in Wyoming and in Texas. Okay? Marmots, ground squirrels, prairie dogs, all those kind of animals are succumbing to the smoke and the fire. Okay? Texas lady says a 4-6 ranch is huge. Several, I believe 3 different ranches have been totally annihilated by the fire. Okay? Texas lady says the cowboys were out fighting their own fires. That's not surprising. Not at all. People are out there. I saw landowners with their own helicopters going over lakes and rivers in Texas, pulling water out of the rivers and lakes and dumping it on the fire. And they were not having too much success because the fire was so large and so hot. Even the helicopters privately owned were pulling water out, trying to help put out the fire. It's incredible. It really is. I've seen it. Now you got to hand it to those people trying to save their own. You have to hand it to them. Those people are magnificent people. Now, anyway, southwestern Texas is also having its share of earthquakes. The swarms are still continuing to hit. We've had earthquakes, a 2.5 earthquake in Westbrook, Texas, oil and gas fracking. An earthquake in Snyder, Texas, 2.6 oil and gas fracking. Over in Sparks, Oklahoma, oil and gas fracking there. And it's not the only earthquake that had happened. There's also supposedly a quarry blast near Drumright, Oklahoma. Okay? It's a 1.5 quarry blast. Now, folks, you know me. I don't trust the United States Geological Survey further than I can throw any one of those people. And I'm not asking violence on those people. I'm not saying that. But when they say there's a quarry blast, I question it. This supposed quarry blast or actually 8 kilometers east-northeast of Drumright, Oklahoma, it's near a quarry, okay? It's probably close to 1,000 feet away from the quarry. Yes, it's possible that this may have been caused by a quarry blast. I'm more likely to say that was caused by an earthquake, caused by oil and gas. There are oil and gas fracking operations going on nearby, not necessarily a quarry blast, okay? That's my personal opinion. And they said it was east-northeast of Drumright. No, it's not. It's west of Drumright. I want to make that clear too. USGS can never get its directions right. They just can't. Okay? They lie about so much it's not even funny. Now, I also want to talk about an earthquake that hit over in the Aleutian Islands today. This was a moderate 4.2 earthquake, okay, in the Rat Islands. This was 125 kilometers deep. Like I said yesterday, we're getting more and more earthquakes over in Alaska. There's probably 60 earthquakes over in Alaska today, all over Alaska. One of the largest earthquakes that hit in Alaska is over in Denali area. USGS has this as a 3.3, 51 kilometers west-northwest of Skeetna, Alaska. This is in Denali National Park, guys. Denali National Park. I don't give a flying rat's frosted keister where USGS says it is. It's in Denali National Park. It's very clear where it's at. Okay? Now, north of Valdese, Alaska, there's another 2.0 earthquake near Eureka Roadhouse, Alaska, north of Valdese. South of Valdese, near Whittier, Alaska, there's also another 2.0 earthquake there. Minor earthquakes, both of them. Minor earthquakes, both of them. Willow, Alaska, another 2.1 earthquake there. There are tremors all over that area. Okay? There's also a 2.6 in Meadow Lakes, Alaska. Okay? Meadow Lakes, Alaska. This is probably about 100 miles north of Anchorage. Another 2.1 in Houston, Alaska, about 75 miles northwest of Anchorage. Okay? These areas are getting hit. One of the earthquakes is over in what I call the hand of Alaska, over to the west. Okay? Now, I'm sorry, this is south of the hand. There is a hand, there is what looks like a hand out there over in central western Alaska. Okay? It's down south of there. This is a 2.9 earthquake, Holy Cross, Alaska. This may be a 3.0. You know what I say about 2.9s. USGS downgrades earthquakes to the nearest 9/10. Okay, 3.0 earthquake there. Now, going over to Japan. Japan is continuing to have earthquakes over in eastern Japan. Okay, another 5.1 earthquake occurred today. This occurred over in Ohara, Japan, a heavily populated area. The earthquakes yesterday that occurred over here were over in they were actually, the epicenters were in an agricultural area just south of Ohara. Today's earthquake was over in a populated area of Ohara. Now, I need to say this. The citizens of Japan reported this earthquake. There was no damage. People said they awoke at 5:45 a.m. Japanese time, of course, 5:45 a.m. Japanese time, and said the ground was shaking. Someone said they awoke to hear their dashes and glasses rattling in their cupboard. This was 20 kilometers beneath the surface. This was a large earthquake very close to the surface. The earthquakes that are very shallow like this cause the most damage. However, there's no reported damage in Ohara, Japan today, even though there is a 5.1 earthquake that hit there today. And it was not the only earthquake that hit there, okay? A 4.5 earthquake to the south of there, 32 kilometers deep. Out to the east, in the ocean, another 4.6 earthquake hit just off the coast of eastern Japan, 30 kilometers deep there. The 5.1 was 21 kilometers deep. Okay, now they've had 3 5.0 to 5.1 earthquakes. Yes, it may have been stronger than that. They may have well been very much stronger than that. Probably upwards of 5.5, 5.4 earthquakes. But they got hit. There is no damage in Ohara, Japan today, so far. So far. But multiple residents reported it. Many residents reported that. Now, I want to go down to the Philippines. Regardless of what the United States Geological Survey says, there have been earthquakes all over the Philippines, Taiwan, and Indonesia today. Stephen Braden just gave us a $10 super chat. Popcorn and soda. God bless you, Ron. Thank you for all you do for us. God bless you also, Stephen. We appreciate your super chat. Thank you so much for all you do as well. We appreciate all your super chats, guys. I'm just going to take a quick break from my reporting the information tonight. We appreciate all your super chats. We appreciate you going to our PayPal location. Now, I don't think our PayPal location is up right now in the top of the program description. YouTube has not been putting it up, but I immediately after the program is finished, I go over to YouTube and put it up myself. We appreciate you all going over to our PayPal and sending us donations for our computer there. We hopefully will be getting a computer sometime this weekend. I'm not sure whether we can pay for it outright or not, but I'm hoping we get more donations so we can pay for it. I don't really have that good a credit to go out and pay out $2,000 to $3,000, $4,000 for a computer. I'm not even looking for a computer that costs that much. I'm just not. I can't afford it, neither can you. But any donations that you can send us would be very much appreciated. We have 2 PayPal locations you can send donations to. Like I said, I will put that up in the very top of the program description before we get off the air tonight. We also will take donations over to our P.O. Box. P.O. Box 422, Valdese, Valdese, North Carolina. I repeat, Valdese, North Carolina, Valdese, North Carolina. The zip code is 28690. We appreciate that. We did get a donation from Ms. Donnersky from Princeton, Illinois yesterday. We appreciate that so much, Christine. We appreciate that very much. Thank you so much for that. I went to the post office box because it showed in my email. I have email notification of letters in our post office box, and so I went over there yesterday to get that. Okay, we appreciate that so much. Brokefish says, go to HP. They will give you a YouTube creator discount. I will talk to them about that. I thank you for that. Appreciate that, my friend. Brokefish is a friend of ours. We appreciate him very much. He allows me to post our programs over on his Discord channel. We appreciate that as well. Now, mods, would you go over to that person, original YouTuber 100, and delete his message, please? Please do that, guys. We don't want any proselyting from any religion here. We're not here to proselyte, guys. If you want to give out information, do so in regards to what we're talking about. Okay? Do that. Okay, now I can't block this guy. I want to. I just did. I took him down. Okay? Please don't do that. Swellen is asking, where is Don? I don't know where Don is right now. Don has been going to the doctor. Don has cancer, guys. Okay, he's a cancer survivor, but he has cancer.
Location, Fiji region, class, moderate magnitude, 5.6, depth, 537 kilometers, 9 minutes ago.
Another large earthquake over in Fiji 5 minutes ago. Not surprising. They have tons of earthquakes every day. Yes, I will go over, call HP probably tonight or tomorrow and see what I can do. I appreciate that. Anyway, guys, more earthquakes. Over in the Philippines, just off the coast of Mindanao, Philippines, the northeast coast of Mindanao, Philippines. Mindanao is the largest island in the Philippines. It's in the southern Philippines. Okay? This area has had large earthquakes for a long time now. Approximately 3 or 4 months ago, this area was hit by a 9.0 earthquake. We showed you the information to prove that. USGS said it was a 7.6. It was not anywhere close to that. It was so much larger than that. They are getting hit with large earthquakes. They've been getting hit with large earthquakes for some time now. Okay? Today they got hit by 10 earthquakes. USGS is showing the largest of 5.3 earthquake. This occurred at 4:29 a.m. Eastern Time this morning off the coast of Mindanao, Philippines. It was fairly close to Mindanao, Philippines, 43 kilometers east of Mindanao, Philippines. Now, while it's close there, some residents of Mindanao, Philippines that live nearby that area, and yes, north of where this earthquake hit, there are people living in the area. If people are even anywhere near the shoreline, they may have felt the remnants of this earthquake. Okay? But they did not feel the full brunt of a 5.3 earthquake. And I'm looking at it now. It doesn't appear to me that there's a large community here. There is. There's a larger community here, a small city. Okay, they may have felt parts of this. Okay? It's off the coast. There are people that possibly felt parts of this, but not the full brunt of a 5.3. JNUMSC is saying any aftershocks, yes. Like I said, there's been 10 earthquakes there. USGS reports the largest. What a bunch of crap. USGS is afraid to show any earthquakes. Heaven forbid. That's why I get so mad at them. They don't show even half of the earthquakes. I don't believe they even show a quarter of the earthquakes, honestly. Today they're showing 267 earthquakes worldwide. I can go throughout the entire world and show about 400 earthquakes myself. Okay? I know for a fact there's at least 600 to 800 earthquakes all around the world. USGS shows 268. What a crock of crap. Okay? It's terrible. It really is. Now, over in Indonesia, north central Indonesia, Gorontalo, or it's not Gorontalo, gosh, I can't believe I said Gorontalo. Gorontalo, Indonesia, had a 4.8 moderate earthquake. It was out in the ocean there. I don't believe anybody felt that. It was a moderate earthquake out in the ocean. The ocean waters absorbed the shock waves of that quake. However, we go almost straight west over to the coastline of Sumatra, Indonesia. We had a 4.4 there. This is I know I'm going to butcher this name of this town. It's 25 kilometers west of Padang Sidapon, Indonesia. PADANGSIDEMPUAN. Padang Sidam, Indonesia. I know I butchered it, but 4.4 earthquake. This was 117 kilometers deep. Still a fairly shallow earthquake. Southwest of there, off in the ocean, Indian Ocean area. A large 5.0 earthquake hit there. USGS downgraded to 4.9. They're full of crap. This is 52 kilometers deep. Okay? And there were other earthquakes there as well, but again, USBS, you know them. There's about 25 earthquakes in Indonesia today. Going over to Papua New Guinea. This, folks, is a different story. AGATS, Indonesia. Papua, Indonesia. A 5.3 earthquake hit there in the central mountains of the country. Now, I'm not sure if there's anybody living in that area. It was on the southern end of the mountains. Okay? It looks to be rivers and streams going through that area. Now, I don't see any villages at all. I don't see any homes here on this map. That doesn't mean there aren't any. This is a very powerful 5.3 earthquake. If there was any villagers living anywhere near this, they may have felt the full brunt of this earthquake. The people in Papua, Indonesia are not that rich at all. They're very poor people. They probably succumbed to that earthquake. Okay? I do not have Zella. No, I don't. No, I don't. JNUSMC is saying recent earthquake at Arabian Sea at Yemen. Yes, it did. We'll get to that. Over in Papua New Guinea. This is also a very popular area for earthquakes. Very prevalent. A 4.8 moderate earthquake hit 194 kilometers deep. It was a 4.8 moderate earthquake. 4.8 is an upper side moderate earthquake. Okay? 4.8 upper side moderate earthquake. This is just below the threshold for a large earthquake. This happened over on the western side of this island. It's not the main island of Papua New Guinea. It's another large island to the east. This earthquake hit just on the coastline of this island here, a 4.8 earthquake. This shook this area. We just barely offshore. I want to say probably not even a half mile offshore. So anybody living in that shoreline area felt this quake. Won't be a damaging earthquake because most of the water here will absorb most of the shaking here. Okay, but they felt this quake. This is just southwest of the volcano over there. Now, I don't know all the names of all the volcanoes. There are more not earthquakes. There are more volcanoes in Indonesia than almost anywhere on Earth. And a lot of these volcanoes are erupting. Okay? They are erupting. And this earthquake may just have been to the south of there, and it may have been also feeding from the magma down beneath that volcano. Okay? That may have been the result of what happened today there. We go over to Yemen, okay? Over in the Indian Ocean, okay? A good-sized earthquake hit a 4.6. Bandar Abbas, Iran, was the supposed epicenter. Yemen shook. Absolutely did.
Earthquake upgraded to 5.8 from 5.7. Location, Fiji region. Class, moderate depth, 537 kilometers, 18 minutes ago.
You heard it. It was an upgrade to 5.7 in Fiji. Now, I will be going back there in just a minute. However, as long as I'm over here in the Indonesia, Middle Eastern area, I also want to report another 5.9 very strong earthquake. 5.9 is usually considered a very large earthquake. 5.5 to 5.9 is considered to be a large earthquake. We know that the agency downgrades the quakes. I'm going to call this on the upper side a very strong 6.0 to 6.3 earthquake. Okay, that's where it probably is. This is in the Owens fracture zone, the southern Owens fracture zone in the western Indian Ocean. We've had numerous earthquakes here. They're going to continue to hit. They're definitely going to continue to hit. North of here, we've had a 5.0 and another 5.3. Today, south here in the southern fracture zone, we have a 5.9, 6.2, 6.3. Honestly. Okay? Over in the Gulf of Aden, okay, near Somalia. This is smack dab on the earthquake fault in the Gulf of Aden. This is a 4.8 earthquake, 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles deep. Okay? That's hitting there. That's hitting there. Now, before I go over to Fiji and Tonga area, I want to report another earthquake over in Italy. USGS is not showing any earthquakes at all in Turkey. How dare they? There's about 60 earthquakes today in the Turkey-Syrian border region. Aftershocks of a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that occurred there last year this time. The same time period last year. The people of Turkey and Syria are still recovering from that quake. And yet there's aftershocks hitting there. Yes, some of the aftershocks are 1.0, 1.8, 1.9, 2.5, 3.5, and even moderate 4.5 and 5.0 large earthquakes. But earthquakes nonetheless, and these people will lose their mind after they keep getting hit day after day after hour with these earthquakes. It's happening. Greece got hit with about a dozen, well, probably over 20 earthquakes today. Greece. USGS not reporting them. All over Turkey as well, not just the 60 earthquakes in the border region of Turkey and Syria, but the entire area of Turkey probably had 40 earthquakes today. USBS not reporting one of them. Greece, 20 earthquakes today. Okay? Over in southern Italy, just off the coast, okay? In the ankle of Italy, okay? A 4.2 earthquake hit there, just barely off the coast, a moderate 4.2. The ocean waters of the sea there absorbed the shock waves of this quake, okay? It's not that close, it's 22 kilometers, which is about 18 miles off the coast. This was a minor, moderate earthquake, 4.2 on the lower end of the moderate scale. This was 263 kilometers deep. This is a medium deep earthquake. A medium deep earthquake. Yes, there will be other earthquakes propagating from this quake, but they're not going to be devastating earthquakes. They're probably just going to be moderate, probably 4.5 earthquakes in this area. Overall, in central Italy, we've had about 30 earthquakes. Most of those also are 1.2, 1.57, 1.8, 2.5 earthquakes. That's all. But even with all those earthquakes in central Italy, these minor tremors, the 1 point earthquakes, they will propagate a large earthquake. Absolutely, they will. They'll propagate a large 5.0 to 5.5 earthquake. It's coming. It's happened in the recent past. It's going to happen again. I can guarantee you that. NCWQ Explorer is in our chat. I appreciate her so much. She says she's very tired. I absolutely understand that. Yes, please go get some rest. Okay? We appreciate you ever so much. God bless you. Her daughter had to go in the hospital because she got sick late last night, early this morning. So she's had to deal with that as well. Thank you so much for your service to your family. We love you all very much. Don Patoka's here. We appreciate Don being here. Don is one of my dearest friends. I'm so glad he's here. I love Don so much. One of my best friends. Don and Sergey are here in Utah heaven. Both of them living in Utah. We appreciate them so much. God bless you, brother, and I appreciate it. Anyway, earthquakes in Italy, nobody reporting them. Nobody. Earthquakes over in northern Italy, over in Switzerland, Germany, France, nobody reporting them. Southern Spain earthquakes, nobody reporting them. Over in the Azore Islands close to Portugal, nobody reporting them. Just minor earthquakes. Okay? Earthquakes over in the Azore Islands near the Mid-Atlantic Fault in the Atlantic. Nobody reporting them. Go figure. No surprise. Earthquakes in Iceland today. Nobody reporting them. They are 1.5, 2.7, 3.5, and even 4.5 earthquakes. These earthquakes are north of Grindavik. Okay? They're northwest of the Svartsenga power plant. Now, I've been talking all this week about where the Svartsenga power plant is. Down beneath the Svartsenga power plant is a huge magma reservoir, and it's been filling up. It's been causing land rise at the Spartsanga power plant. As the magma fills in there in the reservoir, it raises the land height. It's been raising probably 4 millimeters over the past week. 4 millimeters is just over an inch. Okay? It's been rising. It's continuing to rise. Now there's also magma north of there, along the earthquake fault, the Mid-Atlantic fault. Earthquakes up there. There's magma up there as well. The magma earthquakes are hitting south and east of Reykjavik. Now, we don't believe that Reykjavik is right now in any danger from an eruption there. They're saying the eruption will probably be north of Grindavik. However, there are some scientists that say that there may be an eruption in Grindavik. Okay? We can't rule that out. We're hopeful that it doesn't happen. Now, as I reported yesterday, there were tourists that had gotten into Grindavik, taking pictures, selfies there, disrespecting the people. No one is supposed to be allowed there. Those people snuck into Grindavik. I hear they've been ushered out of Grindavik. They should have been arrested for trespassing. If no one's allowed there, they should be arrested for trespassing. Okay? We're going to get more information, and if something does happen this weekend, we'll be here on the air to talk about it. Now, this is a very sensitive subject because there are earthquakes here, and lives may be threatened. Now, so far, this area of Iceland, there's nobody living necessarily in that area. There may be people traveling on the highway from Reykjavik towards Grindavik or even the Blue Lagoon. They may be traveling over towards Grindavik, going to the Svartsengi power plant. That area could erupt at any time. We saw the area where fissures erupted this last time. Okay? That area is outgassing now. There are fissures still opened up. There is no reddish glow from those fissures. However, the fissures are outgassing, meaning the hydrosulfide acid in the terms of vapor is still coming out from the magma beneath that fissure. Okay, it's outgassing. Along with that hydrogen sulfide is sulfur dioxide. Toxic gas is coming from the magma beneath there. The whole area is still outgassing. Even the area of the magma, or excuse me, not the magma, the lava field. That huge lava field as lava bolted out of the fissure, literally. As the magma came flying out in the fountains of lava. As it came out there, huge areas of fields were covered by lava. Those fields are also outgassing, meaning there's fresh lava, hot lava beneath the hardened surface. Now, if anybody is listening to me here in the United States or over in Iceland or any other country, you need to be very well aware of this. Do not traverse on an open lava field, especially a fresh lava field. If you break through that hardened lava crust, you will be stepping down into hot, superheated, up to 2,000 degree lava. You will be burned within an inch of your life. Don't do it. Don't do it. Now, I saw video yesterday of people roasting marshmallows over hot lava. Don't do that either. Why? Because that hot gases, the hydrogen sulfide, the sulfur dioxide coming up from the lava, okay? You may not see that gas, But that gas is going into that marshmallow. The marshmallow has a porous surface. It's soft and gooey. That soft, gooey marshmallow is absorbing the toxic vapor. Don't do it. Not a good idea. Yes, it looks like you're roasting a marshmallow over a fire. Don't do it. That's about as stupid as you get. People do dumb things, the surgery just said in the chat. Dumb. Really dumb. Okay? Now, with that said, there are earthquakes hitting in Iceland. I will be back here to report on it. Earthquake south of Iceland on the North Atlantic Fault, what they call the Reykjanes Fault Zone, just south of Iceland. They've been hitting. Earthquakes are hitting there now. Okay? USGS not reporting it. No surprises here. Okay? No surprises. Jan USMC says, if you're in Germany, Rhine area, be careful, crystal weakness. Absolutely right. Be safe, guys. Be safe. Don Patoka says, Tommy Johnson has a question. Let me scroll back through this chat here and see if, yes, Tommy Johnson says, haven't you received my check yet? No, I haven't received your check yet. It's probably going to the mailbox or on the way to the mail now. I have not yet received it. Thank you so much for that, though. I will keep you informed on when I receive it, though. I appreciate that so much. Okay? And if you get it back, let me know, and I'll make sure that you send it to the right address. I appreciate that, though. Okay? Now, other earthquakes. Yesterday, I reported on an earthquake north of Iceland, over towards the North Pole, north of Svalbard, on that same Mid-Atlantic Fault. Up there, it's not called the Mid-Atlantic Fault, though. I don't remember what they call it, but an earthquake there nonetheless. Folks, when we have earthquakes that far north, you can darn well better believe there are other earthquakes that USGS is not reporting south of there. Every one of the plates all around the world are moving. They're moving. There were 2 earthquakes over in Australia today. Southeastern Australia and Southwestern Australia, and USGS still does not report it. They're not reporting any of it. A 5.8 earthquake over in Fiji. They upgraded that. Now, after this show goes off the air tonight, I will go to the back seismologist study page and try to pull the seismic data. The seismic data from every one of the sensors that recorded that earthquake. It may have been a larger earthquake than a 5.8, because we know that USGS will never admit to what's going on. They're not reporting any earthquakes down in New Zealand today and the Kermadec Islands. There was a 4.4 in the Kermadec Islands today, earlier. There are earthquakes over on the North and South Island of New Zealand that they're not reporting. There's also a supervolcano called Topovolcano. It's on the central part of the North Island, a supervolcano. South of Topo, there's another volcano called Ruapehu volcano. Ruapehu is also shaking, and no one except the seismic network down there is talking about it. Ruapehu has been shaking because the last eruption was back about 20 years ago. 20 years ago. It's still shaking. Now, folks, it will probably still shake for a while. we'll see what happens there. I don't think that there is sufficient evidence to declare it a hazard right now, but it could erupt. I'm just telling you, okay? We know what's going on. We keep an eye on a lot of different things all over the crazy world, okay? We'll always keep an eye on it. Now, with that said, I want to talk about the 2 spy balloons. You might have heard of one spy balloon going across the United States again. There were actually 2. The first one was apprehended by fishermen off the coast of Alaska. Yeah, the balloon fell into the waters of Alaska, the Gulf of Alaska. And the balloon pieces were pulled out of the water, and they're going to be turned over to the FBI as soon as fishermen get to shore. Okay? It's unknown whether it's a Chinese spy balloon. Supposedly. Now, after entering American airspace above Alaska in January, another balloon passed over U.S. military installations in Montana and Utah and other places within the United States. It was finally shot down by an F-22 Raptor near the coast of South Carolina, meaning it crossed the entire United States before we shut the darn thing down. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. That damn thing should have been shot down over the Pacific. Plain and simple. Now, another balloon was found over the United States, but it was not shot down. Supposedly, it was a private balloon gathering weather information. Okay? Now, this one shot down recently near the Carolina coast, said it had an intelligence collection capability. But U.S. authorities said they are unable to verify it yet, or verify if China's really gathered data in real time. That is a bunch of crap. It's proven that the last spy balloons did gather intelligence information. Now, the fishermen discovered that surveillance balloon that they're turning over to the FBI. It was unmanned. It was brought to shore by commercial fishermen so that the FBI in Quantico, Virginia could analyze it. Okay? It was found this past weekend. I can't say, and I'm going to say, no one can say if this is going to continue to happen. This is the 4th Chinese spy balloon that's been anywhere near the United States. This 4th one was found in the Gulf of Alaska. They continue to do it. We know they're Chinese pouring over into Canada, over into Vancouver, Canada. We have verified that. It's a fact. It's a fact. They poured into Ottawa. That's a fact as well. We have people from south of the border pouring into the United States. Some of those people are also going into Canada as well, crossing our northern border into Canada. This is an assault on our countries. This is an assault on our countries. Plain and simple. And China flying spy balloons over our countries is just such an assault. Gathering information about our law enforcement, about our military capabilities. Over in Montana, there is a military and Air Force base controlling our ballistic missiles. It's a fact. And that balloon flew right over the top of it. Okay? Right over the top of it. Now, is it going to continue? Probably. I can't say whether it will or won't, but it probably will. What else is going to happen before this president stands up for the citizens of this country? That's where I'm at today, plain and simple. They're going to continue it. Olivia says Malmstrom Air Force Base. That's exactly it. Okay? That's it. That user won't be in again for a while. I got rid of him. I may remove him entirely. May ban him. I'll do that later. Anyway, guys, do you guys have any information or questions for me? I'll be happy to take any questions from anybody right now. Chris Burke is asking, how about that biolab in California owned by the Chinese? U.S. authorities, including local police near Sacramento, raided that lab quite a while ago. And the FBI is now in charge of that lab. The FBI surrounded it. They're in charge of it. I can't say any more about that because they're not allowing us to have any information. Much love, Surgery. Thank you for all your help. We appreciate it. God bless you, my friend. Anyway, do you guys have any questions for me? It's already just after 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'd be happy to take time right now to answer questions. Eli Urs is asking, I know, but if that thing goes off, there goes half the Pacific coast where I live in the pretty close to the beach. We're talking about the Cascadia subduction zone. Guys over in the Cascadia subduction zone, please beware of what I said yesterday. Okay? Please be aware of what I said yesterday. The Cascadia subduction zone is not anywhere near ready to let loose yet. That could change at any time. That could change any time at any minute. Let me take you back to 2020. Actually, not even that. Let me take you back to December 24th, 2019. December 24th, 2019. Just northwest of Vancouver Island. There were 4 7.0 earthquakes there. 4 7.4 earthquakes. I'm sorry, not 7.4, 7.0 earthquakes off the northwest Vancouver coastline. People in Vancouver Island probably did not feel those earthquakes. 4 of them. Major earthquakes, all of them. We prayed like never before. Never before. We prayed that God would stop those earthquakes from kicking off the Cascadia earthquake. The Cascadia earthquake is going to be a 9.0, 10.0 quake, just like that earthquake in Turkey, just like another earthquake in Antarctica before that. We've had numerous 9.0, 10.0 earthquakes all around the globe, including the latest off the coast of Mindanao, Philippines, just a couple months ago. They're going to happen. And as a result of those earthquakes are also leaving behind aftershocks, powerful aftershocks. The Cascadia earthquake is the same way, except in this case, it'll be right along the fault line. The fault line that connects Alaska and all the way down the coastline into Southern California and Mexico. The Cascadia fault zone runs from Queen Charlotte Island all the way down to Northern California. It connects at the Triple Junction. The Triple Junction is, and I explained this yesterday, the Triple Junction is where the Gorda Escarpment and the San Andreas Fault meet, as well as the Cascadia Fault Zone, the Cascadia Subduction Zone, the Triple Junction. The Cascadia Subduction Zone runs north from there along the coast of California, Oregon, and Washington, as well as up into Vancouver, British Columbia, and all the way up to Queen Charlotte Island, British Columbia. Okay? It'll affect that entire area, I promise you. I explained how the Cascadia Subduction Zone connects at that Triple Junction. It could trigger that 10.0 energy all the way down the San Andreas Fault. The further south it gets, it won't be quite as bad, but it will be bad, I guarantee you. It'll destroy San Francisco. It'll destroy probably Santa Barbara. It will destroy Los Angeles. It will destroy Imperial Valley, or what's left of it. It could also destroy San Diego City and County. San Diego City and County are only separated from the San Andreas Fault to the east by the Chocolate Mountains. But there are other fault zones between the San Andreas and San Diego. The San Andreas could also cause other earthquakes all the way down along the San Jacinto, all the way down the Elsinore Fault, and other ancillary faults in San Diego County. We saw what happened the last time we had a 7.1 plus earthquake along the border area between the United States and Mexico, over in Guadalupe, Victoria, back in 2010, Easter 2010. Skyscrapers in San Diego rocked all over the place. That earthquake was felt all the way north into Los Angeles. It was felt all the way east out to Phoenix in Arizona. It's going to happen again. Seismic energy is coming north from southern Mexico. Yesterday, there were 25 earthquakes in southern Mexico. There were 20 earthquakes in Central America. USGS showed us one. The seismic energy is running north, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. It's running north. Seismic energy is going to meet at the border in the Imperial Valley. It's going to go north. Guess what? Who's there? Thousands of people are in the Imperial Valley, Imperial County. Thousands. That area is going to get hit again. San Diego is going to get hit. Los Angeles is going to get hit. Los Angeles is already being hit by earthquakes every day. 2.5, 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes all over Los Angeles County. I've checked it, guys. I know this to be a fact. Brokefish is also talking about Crater Lake. Yes, there was an earthquake yesterday at Crater Lake. What do I think about it? He asked us earlier. What do I think about it? Guys, Crater Lake is a volcano in south central Oregon. There's a huge lake at the top of Crater Lake. Millions of gallons of water in that lake. The last time that volcano erupted was about 1,500 years ago or so. Folks, Crater Lake is getting hit with earthquakes. Tremors, minor earthquakes, and small earthquakes hitting Crater Lake. And they're not reporting them. The Pacific Northwest Seismic Network is not reporting them. USGS not reporting them. That's typical. Now, I can go forth and name volcanoes up and down through most of Oregon. I'm very familiar with all of them. The major ones, Crater Lake, Bachelor Volcano, Belknap Crater, Newberry Volcano, Scissors Volcano, Mount Hood. Those are the major volcanoes in just Oregon alone. And there's other volcanoes as well. Cinnamon Butte, for example. Every one of those volcanoes is getting hit by earthquakes. Every one of them. Most of them, they're not reporting. USBS telling the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network don't show exactly what's going on. For example, Bachelor Volcano. They have not been reporting much of anything at Bachelor Volcano for years now. Years. The seismograph has been turned off at Bachelor Volcano. Fact. I monitored it. Almost every day, if not every other day, I take a look at Bachelor Volcano and the other volcanoes that I can monitor. From Hualaga, up in Canada. Haida Gwaii, that's what I was trying to say. From Haida Gwaii south, I've been monitoring all of it. The only people that are recording anything are in Canada. They're the only ones. And Canada's telling us what's going on. They put out information every day, every hour of every day. USGS did not do that at all and hasn't done that in a very long time. Okay? It's incredible. And Mount Jefferson is another one that they don't hardly report on. USGS doesn't report on it at all. Pacific Northwest Seismic Network sometimes has information about Jefferson, but rarely. Brokefist says we both watch it. Yes, we do. While these agencies don't, they're the ones that are going to be held responsible for when something happens that they have not reported on. They're responsible. They're absolutely responsible. If they don't report on it and people get killed, because people have the right to know information and to make decisions on their own whether they're going to leave there or not, then so be it. I hope like heck. Yes, you can't sue the federal government. I'm aware of that. But you can sue Pacific Northwest Seismic Network for not reporting on it, hiding information. That's what they're doing. I'm sure those agencies have that information, but they're not reporting on it. That's the bottom line. I watched Mount Baker just south of the Canadian border in Washington state. Probably 80% of everything at Mount Baker is not being reported, or they're lying about it. They're lying about it. Okay? Putting out false information all the time. I can prove it. I've shown it on my reports to you probably every few weeks, I'll show you one of the seismograms that are being reported that has nothing but what they call artifact. Artifact. Okay? False information. Brokefish says, don't get me started on what they're hiding. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. My wife can tell you that I get mad. I get furious. It's a joke. It's literally a crying shame. I wish somehow that President Trump would get elected and somehow that I would be appointed to replace the director of USGS. Okay? I would love to be replacing him because I would take over and make sure that the politicians had no say when it comes to reporting seismic information. We had 55 seismographs put off the coast of Oregon 3 years ago. Nobody is getting that information. Nobody. Okay. Rainey's asking how old I am. Guess. I'm probably a lot younger than you think. Okay. Some people think I'm a stupid old man. I'm not. One, I'm very smart and I'm still young. How about that? That's a fact. No, we don't smoke joints around here. We don't do that, sorry. We don't pull that kind of crap. Okay? I'm just fine, okay? I'm just fine. I'm not blowing a cork. My blood pressure's not going up. It matters. It matters. People are going to die because they're not getting information. Okay? Plain and simple. Linda says Trump is going to be in Richmond, Virginia tomorrow. He's also going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina tomorrow as well. And Harris was in Charlotte today, promising North Carolina money to minorities for business. Yeah, they want to get the minority vote. Of course, they're going to give money to minorities for business reasons. And that's fine. Everybody deserves to have money to support their businesses. Everybody. But Biden is discriminating. Biden is discriminating. It's not like he hasn't done it before. He continues to do it. Okay? He continues to do it. It's nothing new. But sooner or later, he'll be gone anyway. Earlier this week, Biden went in for a medical exam because doctors and everybody else told him to, because he's being accused of not being cognitive enough to be president. And I'm hoping that they'll take him out of the presidency. Now, on the political note, Senator McConnell from Tennessee resigned from he's actually, I believe, from Kentucky, excuse me. He resigned from his senatorship yesterday. So they're going to try, the GOP, the Republican Party, is going to try to replace him very soon before the election. He is the minority leader in the Senate, the GOP minority leader in the Senate. The Conservative Party, not just the Republicans, need to put somebody in there that will actually get things done. McConnell, on the other hand, has not done that. He's mostly sided with President Biden. Folks, if we do not reach a budget settlement, if the Congress does not reach a budget settlement by March 9th, the government is going to go into a partial shutdown. if by March 16th they have not reached a budget that's agreeable to Congress and the president, then the United States will go into full shutdown and nobody will get paid. That's a fact. If the government goes into shutdown, nobody has any money. The government is well overdrawn anyway. We have a huge gut-busting deficit that our grandchildren are going to have to inherit, unfortunately. The United States is already bankrupt. The only thing there is that's keeping the United States solvent is the Congress giving us loans. Okay? $34 trillion short. It's incredible. But hopefully, Congress will at least keep this government running until we can get a decent president in there to make changes. Okay? That's the bottom line. Okay? Jan says they will most likely strike a deal to avoid shutdown, in my opinion. I agree. That's probably what they're going to do. It's called a continuing resolution, a CR. They've been doing that for almost 2 years now. One continuing resolution after another after another. Okay? Trey Bent says, who owns the debt, though? We do. You and I. All of us own the debt. Because Congress has put it on us. Plain and simple. You can't just blame it on one party or the other right now. I believe both parties own their own portion of it. But it's not just the parties that own it, it's us. You and I are going to have to repay that debt. Okay? That's the bottom line. It's sad. It's sad. Any more questions here? Now it's about 8:20. Now we've been here about 2 hours. Linda says she can't wait for the elections. I can't either. She says she can't wait for the debates. I don't think there's going to be a debate. Biden couldn't debate anybody, and Kamala Harris is just as bad. Okay, so we're not going to have a debate. It's sad. Okay? It's bad. Nathan's asking, how old is he? I don't know. But Trump is more cognitive than Biden is at this point. It doesn't really matter at this point. We need to get somebody in there that will do the job. Yeah, Biden is older than the hills. Sad. Anyway, guys, we appreciate you. We very much love you. We're here to give you the information to help protect you. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. We're here to protect you, to help give you information so you can make decisions for yourselves and your family. Now, I was going to talk about emergency preparedness. I may come on the air tomorrow and talk about emergency preparedness. I have several documents that I put together here just for that reason. Okay? I was going to talk about fires and wildfires, since we have wildfires going across Texas right now and another one over in Wyoming. Wildfires are now going to start almost anywhere across the United States and around the world. They've been going in South America, they've been going in Central America, they've been going in Africa and all around the world. Okay? All over. Folks, we're here to talk to you about your safety. Okay? We're here for you. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. I have left you with the spiritual thought every day for the past few years. I'm going to leave you with another one here. The most important message that any of us could receive right now is a reminder of who we are and how we are loved by our Heavenly Father and His Son, Jesus Christ. That is truly the greatest message that we could receive today or ever. I'm here to tell you, and I bear testimony that today, right now, that I know that Jesus Christ lives. He hears and answers our prayers. I know that. Our Heavenly Father knows each one of us. And they both want us to return to them into heaven. And we all have that very opportunity. It's up to us to repent and to change our ways and to obey the commandments and do those things that the Lord wants us to do to return to Him. Folks, Christ is the Lord. May we understand that. May we honestly allow Jesus Christ and His atonement to take effect in our own lives. To accept Him as our Savior, our King, our Deliverer. Let the Holy Spirit touch us and thereby bring us to the realization of what we have to do to return to our Heavenly Father's kingdom. God bless you. God be with you until we meet again. Have a good night, folks. We love you very much. Take care. Enjoy your evening and enjoy your weekend. We will be back on the air this weekend. We'll be back on the air this weekend, probably tomorrow to talk about fires. Okay? We'll be back. Have a great weekend. We'll be back Sunday with our Sunday school class called Come Follow Me, the Savior Said. Sometime after 12 noon Eastern Time, 12 o'clock Eastern Time, we'll be back on the air with Come Follow Me, the Savior Said, our Sunday school class. We'll be talking about the scriptures in the Book of Mormon and Isaiah. Be prepared today, tomorrow, and forever, knowing and reading the scriptures and being part of our scripture study. God bless you. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side, guys. We love you very much. Take care. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy your weekend. Good night.